Good day everyone, I am Ethel Magsino and I'll be tackling business ethics. Our group chose Google Company to relate on the topics. Google LLC is an American multinational technology company that focuses on artificial intelligence, search engine, online advertising, computer software, and consumer electronics. It is developed by Sergey Brin and Larry Page in 1996. Its vision is to provide access to the world's information in one click. Its mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. That's why search makes it easy to discover a broad range of information from a wide variety of sources. Google has many platforms such as Google Search, Google Maps, Google Classroom, and even this video you're watching is played and presented through Google. I will discuss Google's Code of Business Ethics later on, but first we will tackle about what is business ethics. Business ethics can be defined as the principles of conduct within organization that guide decision-making and behavior. Good business ethics is a prerequisite for good strategic management. Good ethics is just good business. All strategy, formulation, implementation, and evaluation decisions have ethical ramification. Business ethics refers to the implementing appropriate business policies and practices with regard to agreeably controversial subjects, including corporate governance, insider trading, bribery, discrimination, corporate social responsibility, and fiduciary responsibilities. Being unethical can be very expensive. Business actions considered to be unethical includes misleading advertising or labeling, causing environmental harm, poor product or service safety, padding expenses accounts, insider trading, dumping, banned or flawed products in foreign markets, not providing equal opportunities for women and minorities, overpricing, moving job overseas, and sexual harassment. Business ethics goes beyond just a moral code of right and wrong. When it comes to preventing unethical behavior and repairing its negative side effects, companies often look to managers and employees to report any incidences they observe or experience. However, barriers within the company culture itself can prevent this from happening. Next is a Code of Business Ethics. It is a document that provides behavioral guidelines that cover daily activities and decisions within an organization. A code of ethics can be viewed as a public relation gimmick, a set of platitudes, or window dressing. Business ethics refers to how ethical principles guide the business operation. While a code of ethics is often not required, many firms and organizations choose to adopt one, which helps to identify and characterize a business to stakeholders. To ensure that the code is read, understood, believed, and remembered, periodic ethics workshops are needed to sensitize people to workplace circumstances in which ethics issues may arise. If employees sees example of punishment for violating the code as well as rewards for upholding the code, this reinforces the importance of a firm's codes of ethics. For members of an organization, violating the code of ethics can result in sanction including terminations. Code of Business Ethics is intended to ensure a business and its employees act with honesty and integrity in all facets of its day-to-day operation. Google's Code of Conduct includes the following. Google's aspire to be a different kind of company. They rely on one another's good judgment to uphold a high standard of integrity for themselves and for the company. Sometimes identifying the right thing to do isn't an easy goal. This code of conduct is updated last January 24, 2022. Google expects all of their employees and board members to know and follow the code. Failure to do so can result in disciplinary action, including termination of employment. The code of conduct is built around the recognition that everything Google do in connection with their work at Google will be and should be measured against the highest possible standards of an ethical business conduct. The next topic will be ethical culture. An ethical culture can be defined as a set of experiences, assumptions, and expectations of managers and employees about how the organization encourages them to behave ethically or unethically. Measuring and building an ethical culture is a challenging task that offers enormous long-term rewards. Many organizations have developed a code of conduct manual outlining ethical expectations and giving examples of situations that commonly arise in their businesses. Whistleblowing refers to the policies that requires employees to report any unethical violation they discover or see in the firm. The spirit of an organization is created from the top. If an organization is great in spirit, it is because the spirit of its top people is great. Business relationships are built mostly on mutual trust and reputation. Short-term decisions based on greed and questionable ethics will preclude the necessary self-respect to gain the trust of others, as a history has shown. Ethics training program should include messages from the CEO or the owner of the business emphasizing ethical business practices, development and discussion of code of ethics, procedure for discussing and reporting unethical behaviors. Although primary responsibility for ensuring ethical behavior rests with the firm's strategist, an integral part of the responsibility of all managers is to provide ethics leadership by constant example and demonstration. Managers hold positions that enable them to influence and educate many people, which makes managers responsible for developing and implementing ethical decision-making. One of the unethical business action is bribery. A bribe occurs when one entity illegally offers money or something else of value to sway or influence some decision or process. Bribe can also be masked as tips, gifts, favors, donation, or other forms of legal exchanges. Bribery involves the payment of something, either money or goods, or an intangible favor in the subversion of normal practices for gain or special treatment or in order to get an advantage. Bribes is illegal and unethical, but in some foreign countries it is acceptable. In the Google's Code of Conduct, they have included accepting gifts, entertainment, and other businesses' courtesies guidelines. Google's non-government related gifts and client entertainment policy provides specific guidance on when it is appropriate for Googlers to accept gifts, entertainment, or any other business courtesy from any of their competitors or business partners. Googlers may accept gifts, entertainment, and other business courtesies provided that they aren't excessive and don't create the appearance of impropriety and they have obtained their manager's approval. Google Company follows anti-bribery laws in Section 7, letter D for guidance. Important anti-bribery and extortion initiatives are advocated by the many organizations, including the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the European Union, the Council of Europe, the Organization of American States, the Pacific Basic Economic Council, the Global Coalition for Africa, and the United Nations. Businesses have to be much more careful these days. For years, taking business associates to lavish dinners and giving them expensive holiday gifts and even outright cash may be expected in many countries, such as South Korea and China, but there is now a step-up enforcement of bribery laws. Love affairs at work is our last topic. 80% of the firms have policies that prohibit relationship between a supervisor and a subordinate. At the World Bank, sexual relation between a supervisor and an employee are considered a de facto conflict of interest which must be resolved to avoid favoritism. The UN plans to soon make changes to its internal justice system for handling harassment complaints. The UN aspires to protect human rights around the world. Google company also included in their code of conduct the personal relationship at work. Certain Google interaction may jeopardize or appear to jeopardize your capacity to perform the job responsibilities, create uncomfortable or conflicting positions, and raise concerns about fairness, favoritism, or harassment. Romantic, physical, or familial relationships are not permitted between a Googler and another Googler or a member of the extended workforce where one individual is in a position to exercise authority or supervision over the other. Refers to the policy on personal relationship at work and the anti-harassment policy and the equal opportunity and affirmative action policy. In a final analysis, ethical standards come out of history and heritage, which intends to implement appropriate business policies and practices. Anyone who sees an unethical activity should report such behavior so that the company can give disciplinary action or termination of employment. Social responsibility and environmental sustainability will be reported by the other reporters. Thank you!